Hey BookTube, how's it going today? Well, I'm doing just fine, thanks for asking. Um, in this video, you know what? Oh, that was my dog. I was terrified. Um, guys, guys, shh, thank you. Um, before I start, I just want to say thank you to Indie Insomniac. I was just watching his video, and all of a sudden, I saw my fat head on his screen. And I was like, what? And then, um, hang on, what's going on here? Look at me doing admin stuff while I'm doing a video like a dummy. But yeah, and then he gave me a cool shout out, so I appreciate it. Awesome, dude. Um, oh my god, that's really hot. Coffee. Um, but I've been hearing people talk about the Tome Topple and all that stuff, and I wasn't gonna do it because after doing the 24 and 48 and Booktubeathon, I was like kind of burnt. But I think Tome Topple starts today and it goes for 2 weeks. So I was thinking about the books I have, and a lot of the books I get are like 120 to 200 pages long. They're just like little paperbacks. And even though like newer versions of these same books are like 300 or 400 pages because the margins and line spacing and font size, um, I don't know. I wasn't even thinking about doing it at all. But then I'm like, you know what? I got two giant books, and it would be cool to get into them because I haven't really. For instance, well, what they are, these are going to be the two books I'm going to do in the Tome Topple. The first one is the Black Lizard Big Book of Black Mass Stories. This is so cool. Look at how beautiful this book is. It's gorgeous. Look at her. Wouldn't want to meet her in a dark alley unless she didn't have any guns. But this is just awesome. I love this one. It's 1116 pages, and then I'm gonna do this one, um, the Big Book of Pulps, which is 1150 pages. All right, but basically it's because like these books are like you. Well, how I've read them is that I go through and like I'll pick an author or something like that, or a story. Like this one's cool because it's like broken up into three parts. You have the crime fighters, the villains, and the dames. And this one has, I think this is the first one they did, like this anyway. You have Dashiell Hammett, James Cain, who were some names? Cornell Woolrich, Earl Stanley Gardner, let's see, Raymond Chandler. Yeah, so this is just like a big book of awesome stuff. Now, I like this one better, and I haven't read every single story in here, and I haven't read every single story in this one, but with this one, I like it for a couple reasons. And one is because, oh, never mind. Is because this one, it doesn't have like the like the sections like the big book does, or the Big Book of Pulps does. But it has, I mean, it also has Earl Stanley Gardner and Dashiell Hammett, and Brett Halliday, Raymond Chandler. Who else is in here? Horace McCoy, Cornell Woolrich, Richard Deming. But the thing that makes me really like this book is that it has Day Keene, W.T. Ballard, and most importantly, Norvell Page. Now, Norvell Page is the guy who took over the Spider Pulps, and I love his work. Love it, love it, love it. And he was completely batshit crazy, which is also really, really cool. There's also there's a Lester Dent story in here, and Lester Dent was the guy who created Doc Savage. But what I really like about both of these, actually, because there's one in both of them, they both have a story from Carol John Daly, who predates Dashiell Hammett and Raymond Chandler in creating the hard-boiled detective. And his stuff is super hard to get a hold of, super hard to find. And he wrote some crazy ass shit. Where is it? I was just looking at it. I thought, this is the Knights of the Open Palm? Yeah. Okay. And then this one, it's what's on this page? Nope, I was wrong. It's The Third Murderer. But I mean, he wrote like I think The False Barton Combs is the first technically hard-boiled story, and I think that was actually published in Black Mask. But he had characters like Three Gun Terry and Satan Hall, who was like this cop that everyone was fucking afraid of, which is hysterical and awesome. But anyway, he's amazing, and like his stuff is really like scarce. I can never ever find his stuff when I go out. So these books were my first introduction to him after reading so much about him. So that was really cool. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna try to just go from cover to cover on both of these. I'll do this one this week, and the Black Lizard big book of pulps. Can't even say it. It's like, it's such a mouthful, damn it. I'll do that one next week. But yeah, right now I am reading Killer in the Rain, which is really cool because it is a bunch of short stories that, in Raymond Chandler's words, he cannibalized to make novels out of. So, like, let me come to the contents here. And the reason why I was looking at this is because if you saw my awesome little video on Lady in the Lake yesterday, you would see that I was excited because I live at the lake where the lady's in. So that was amazing. That was a great discovery. But like, The Big Sleep was made out of taking The Killer in the Rain and The Curtain and taking parts of those to make The Big Sleep. His second novel, Farewell, My Lovely, made extensive use of The Man Who Liked Dogs and Tried the Girl and Mandarin's Jade. The fourth novel, Lady in the Lake, relied on Bay City Blues, The Lady in the Lake, and No Crime in the Mountains. And then, let me see. And all of those stories are in here, which is awesome. Let me see. Farewell, My Lovely also used a small part from Trouble Is My Business. The High Window drew a small portion from The King in Yellow, and The Long Goodbye also uses a small bit from The Curtain. what's really cool is, at least in what I've read so far, is that the like I read Lady in the Lake, and the killer was somebody completely different. So there's a dog across the street crying, and I want to go save it or shake whoever has it and try to figure out what the hell is going on. But anyway, so the killer was different. So I was like, oh, okay, this is like a brand new story. But what I did find out is that I was slightly wrong about where Little Fawn Lake was. Okay? Because on the North Shore side of Big Bear Lake, there's a town called Fawnskin. And I assumed that Fawnskin, because in the Lady in the Lake novel, I'm almost positive he turns left and not right at the fork, which would take him, if he turned left, it would take him to Fawnskin. If he, like, went more straight or right, that would take him into Big Bear Lake proper, like the city of Big Bear Lake. But in the Lady in the Lake short story, he goes through Big Bear Lake and then turns on a road called Redlands Road, which, when I looked up, is there, but it doesn't exist. And I don't understand it, but it shows me Redlands Road, but that is now called Old Mill Road. So I don't know if it used to be called Redlands Road or not. But then I followed it, and it said at the big black oak, I turned right, and I followed it on the map on Google, and it goes right to a fucking little tiny lake. And the lake on the map is called Cedar Lake. Now, I haven't been there. I'm going to probably go there today to do some snooping. But what I'm expecting is that it's going to be dry. It'll just be like a little tiny field or something like that. Because the little, the wetlands are dried out and Baldwin Lake's dried out. So, and they're supposed to fill up like every 3 years or something like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go, but I'm not expecting too much. So if it is there, I'll take pictures, because in the book there were like some old movie things there, like a I don't know what you call it. I can't think of what it's called. Anyway, movie props, like the movie studios built a dock and a water wheel. I can't think of what it's called. What's wrong with me? My brain's breaking. Anyway, so that's my Tome Topple. And that's this. So, you know that TBR I made a little while ago? It's complete shit now. So that's out of the water. So, yeah. So this is what I'm reading. So take care, BookTube.